What other sort of projects or work are you involved in the space field to try to further the new space industry?
Okay, well, some years ago, I also did a contract on X-Core for, we took an old NASA code for what's called the vortex lattice method. It is a two-dimensional simulation of the airflow over the wings. This was actually some of the early stages of the Lynx design, and I worked with Mark Street a bit on that and translated the 1968-76 NASA Fortran code into a more modern language. And that was a great deal of fun. Tear my hair out at times going through this old Fortran, which obviously was from punch card era. But we did get it working, and I did manage to certify the data, and they did use it on some of the very early stages of design. Now, besides that, I've been working with Jim Bennett and Rand Simberg on various things. We had a venture together. Well, it's still running. Wyoming Aerospace, and I worked with them on doing a spaceport study for a western state, which I cannot name. We did actually a little bit of work for Art Dula, who was just in here. Very early stages when they were looking at the possibility of the ALMAS. We looked at some of the communication issues, and because they were talking about using basically cell phone type technology at the time. And Rand and Jim and I did a first look at it. Not a huge amount, but just there were a couple of days that we spent saying whether we thought this was going to work or not.
Very interesting. So without violating any sort of NDIs or anything, or NDAs, excuse me, what is on the future horizon for yourself and for Immortal Data?
Okay, we are trying to bring another person on to do some of the programming. We have some ins to market in, would you believe it, lotteries, because they have to save all the numbers and the data from all those tickets basically forever. It just because it's legal things. I've been talking with a fellow who is a company that does those all over the world, and they definitely had some interest for working with that someday. The NewSpace angle of it is certainly the one where I'm very, very interested. There's a number of other companies I've been talking to. If you're going to do, let's say, massive test of new things and you want to really be able to test fast and cheaply, it's really nice if you can just let the things blow up. I mean, build them so cheap that you can test something and you don't care if your booster goes boom. And if we've got something on board that lets them extract the data, high resolution data, even if it has blown up, then that could be useful to them. So that's one of the more fun things that I hope comes about. Like any engineer, I like to watch things blow up, just as long as I'm not on them.
Right. Well, what is the most important thing that people need to know right now about Dale Amon and Immortal Data?
Well, I'd say you're going to hear about us, and we're out there to actually do something good in the world as well, which is the cultural data of humanity is all based on data systems which are very fragile. And we're hoping to come out with data systems which are so robust that information will be able to survive so long as we manage to be a technological civilization.
Is that what inspires you to be involved in space?
Well, the Inspire for space came actually from Sputnik. I was a real small child, and I got to go out and look at that little dot going across the sky, and spaceships were the only thing that was neater than dinosaurs.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Well, I might throw in that I think that we are today sitting at the cusp of when everything changes. 2012 is the year when a lot of these companies start showing what they can really do, and I think by the middle of this decade, it's going to be clear to the densest of people that commercial space has taken over space, and that we are going out to the planets of the solar system in a big way, and we're going to go out and make money while we're doing good things.